What's up, everybody? It's that time again.
Yay.
It is time for another Vinyl Monday. Alright, so here we are again. Another week.
Another week, another vinyl.
Another week, another vinyl. This week we have a really dope record. There's a hint somewhere around here. Who knows what it could possibly be. It's a NASA album!
It's NASA's recordings that they took of space probes and astronauts and meteorites and stuff.
Yeah, and then they compiled it all together and they made a full-length album.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking wild. And you guys should definitely check that out.
They called it Project Angels and Airwaves.
Alright, are we ready? Drum roll, please! Still no drummer, so we're gonna have Maggie do it.
Oh, I already started it.
It's a...
It was Dakota's shirt, that was the hint.
Yeah, it was. A day to remember. Common fucking courtesy.
Common fucking courtesy.
That's what the album should have been called.
It's just
Day to
common
remember.
courtesy.
Maybe your next one, add fucking in the middle of it.
Well, that's not very courteous.
Hey. Alright, so this is the record that we chose. Maggie will show you guys what it looks like. It's actually a really cool color. So much artwork all over it.
Here's the inside. Has the band members. Got Jeremy fucking Noose, and it's really cool. It has all these people with kind of signs. It looks like there's some like crooked politics going on. Some people on puppet strings. Some zombies. Probably to commentate on the state of the world.
The mindlessness that everybody
A little bit.
did.
The mindlessness, which we'll touch on later with some tracks.
Oh yeah.
It's cool because yeah, the front cover of it is actually the sleeve. So here's the first sleeve. And this is what the record looks like. It's this kind of pale baby yellow with some blue and gray splatters. It's really cool.
Really, really cool. Then we have another sleeve right here. So we have the band members in real time. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And on the back they have some little blurbs, thank you, and stuff like that.
They've always had cool album artwork. I really love this inside cover. It's really cool.
There's so much to look at.
There's so much to look at. It's a statement.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Definitely.
It's so neat.
This record, a pretty cool story. So when Maggie and I kind of first started going together, was it the first concert we went to together? No, second?
No,
or
second.
third?
It was like
Something-
third or fourth.
Something like
It was
that.
third.
It was around that. We lived in Colorado Springs at the time. Colorado Springs, Colorado, for any of you people that don't know. And we drove 9 hours to Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, because for some reason the Day to Remember tours in like the most random cities.
Random ass
They never come to
cities.
Denver.
I know.
Ever.
It's
But
all
they do
East
go to
Coast.
Kansas City, Missouri, which we drove 9 hours across the barren Kansas wasteland just to see these guys play.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
It was definitely worth the drive.
Yeah, it was definitely worth the drive.
But yeah, we picked this up at their show. It was a limited tour edition for that tour. I think it was literally called Just Some Shows. I think that's what the tour was called. Because it was a little baby tour they did with State Champs.
So let's start talking about the record. So it starts off with City of Ocala. Where they're from.
Was it Ocala or Ocala?
Ocala.
Ocala?
I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments.
If anyone's from Ocala, let us know.
But it starts off basically talking about where they're from, everything like that, just memories, and it's pretty cool.
City of
Like, they
Ocala is
filmed
the music video where they
Yeah.
are going around their hometown and they have the little signs like, this was my last job, this is where I went to high school, this is where I did all this random hood rat shit growing up. It's a really cool video, I really like it. Especially for A Day to Remember, who's that pop punk band who's kind of known for hating their hometown. I think they have stated that even though they kind of detested it at first, they found more of an appreciation for it eventually as they grew up, and they pay respects to where they got their starts with City of Ocala and right back at it again.
Yeah, right back at it again. All about tour life, all about making it to where they are now, and kind of going right back to where
Yeah,
it all
basically,
started.
it's kind of like the cliche, no one believed in us, we played empty clubs, we did all this shit, but we kept doing it, and now they're huge.
And then sometimes with the hammer, sometimes with the nail. That's basically learning about growing up and I mean, anything growing up, just 27 years old, whatever, you're just learning to cope with everything. Like, there's some great lines in there. Like, I reserve my right to feel uncomfortable. I reserve my right to be afraid. I make mistakes and I'm humble.
Every step of the way.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail.
What are some of your other favorite tracks on this record? That
End of Me.
End of Me is a really good one. That's
it has one of
my
the greatest
favorites
videos too. It's about, that's basically about somebody, and I can relate to this so much, about somebody that you have so many memories with. You know, you've done everything together, and at the end of the day, they are going to be the end of you, and they're going to bring you right back down. And there's speculations that it's about Jeremy's dad, but
well, that's what the music video is about.
Yeah, it's just.
But I'm sure we can all relate to being in
yeah.
sort of a negative, toxic relationship where you love this person, but you know they're bad for you, and you know that, yeah, they'll be the end of you, but it's really hard to let go, and it hurts. There's a line in there that just can't help those who don't want to be helped, and it's so simple, but that's a lyric from this record. Another one, like Dakota was saying, from Sometimes You're the Hammer, that's another lyric for me that just always has stuck in my brain and stood out to me as a really powerful lyric and a really powerful song, just because it's kind of, this person has a piece of you, and like Dakota was saying, all the memories and all the happy times, but at the same time, it's mixed with all this remorse and this regret and just wanting better for yourself and wanting better for the other person, but not being able to drag them out, and almost similarly not being able to drag yourself out of their mess.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you get tangled up in trying to help people, trying to be there for people. They don't look at the things the same way.
Another favorite is Best of Me, which is kind of similar, except it's End of Me is kind of more sad. Best of Me, I think, is the more angry part of that. It's again kind of talking about this negative relationship that you give and give and give and give to, and it's just kind of coming to the end of it and being like, you got the best of me. I like it. I think it has. I think it's really catchy. It's really angry. It's really upbeat. It's got kind of a Foo Fighters feel, I think.
Yeah, it's just
not just because of the best of. I guess you could say somebody got the best of you, but I really love that song. It's so upbeat, but it's also kind of just this angsty thing about how you're angry that you wasted your time, and you're kind of sad because you still love the person, but at the same time, you knew this was going to happen, but maybe you didn't know it was going to happen, and maybe it held on for too long, and maybe I could have done this, maybe you should have said that, but it's just kind of coming at the end of the day being like, well, fuck. I can't believe you got the best of me.
Document speaks for itself. That's about Victory Records and everything like that. As we all know, Victory Records screws over a lot of people. Straight Line Manifesto is one of them. Hawthorne Heights is another one. A Day to Remember. Taking Back Sunday. Like, you name it, they fuck over a lot of people, but it's a major label, so they can help you out, which is kind of the double-edged sword right there. But I like it because there's a lot of one-liners or a couple liners in this album that really hit. And it's no fucking respect. And that's mine, my friend Zach Gilbert, shout out. We've talked about this so many times. It's just people nowadays don't have any respect for anybody else, and it's just irritating. Like, yeah,
it's hard to watch.
It's just so irritating when anything, strangers, people you know, you just treat them, no one treats anyone with respect.
Yeah.
It's rough, and
it's really frustrating to watch, and I think there's a lot of frustration obviously being vented on this song about their particular dispute with Victory. A really cool thing about this record, speaking of Victory Records, is since they recently departed because they had a lot of problems with royalties and stuff like that, that they decided to depart from Victory. This record was like self-produced, self-released, self-made, like A Day to Remember and their little team. Pretty much, like, they didn't release it through a label or anything. They just released it by themselves. They I think they recorded it in Jeremy McKinnon's house.
With Chad Gilbert.
Yeah, with Chad Gilbert.
Newfound Glory.
From Newfound Glory. So it was a really bold move for them to make, but they pulled it off because the record turned out amazing and it did really well. And I've never met anybody who's a fan of A Day to Remember who didn't like this record.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, they've just
any of them.
consistently put out great albums one after another. They're a stellar group of guys. I mean, there's other songs on here. They talk throughout the whole. Yeah, I remember. At the end of songs, some of them they talk about certain stuff, and then
you like the bitch?
You like the bitch? I like the bitch. It's fucking homesick. And also, they talk about like the first time they saw snow. New
That's
York
an I
shows.
Remember.
Yeah.
That's why I like I Remember, because that's kind of another track like Right Back at It Again, where they're talking about how they made it as a band and they're just going through. I remember when I first saw the country. I remember sleeping in the van. I remember playing our first venue. I remember sleeping on the floor. I remember there's all this
Just
stuff that
everything.
that all I feel like, especially other little touring bands starting out, have to relate to. Like all successful touring bands started out in this shitty van that probably broke down every single tour, and they're running out of gas, and they could barely afford hotels, and they're all living on ramen before realizing they can't boil it because they don't have a portable stove because they're poor.
Yep. Cold water ramen. Not fun.
So it's just a great song. It's really inspiring too to hear them just reminiscing of, hey, remember when we used to play clubs and no one would show up, but we played anyway, and now you look at A Day to Remember and they're playing these huge headlining festivals, these huge stadiums. So I think it's really inspiring as us too, as like kind of DIY musicians right now, and any other musicians, to just keep going for your goals and keep going for it, and you can make it like these guys.
Oh yeah.
That's a big message behind this record too, is just
you gotta,
life's gonna throw shit at you, but you just have to keep going. I think that's one of the general themes to this record.
Yep. All in all, stellar fucking record.
Mm-hmm.
Produced amazingly. It's got your heavy songs, violence.
Oh yeah, it's really diverse. There's something for everyone.
How the world just literally, everybody.
Everybody sucks.
Everyone's obsessed with violence. Why?
This record is super diverse. There's something. I think the reason this record partially did so well is because there's something for pretty much everyone. If you like the pop punk side of A Day to Remember, then you have songs like Right Back at It Again, Life at 11, Best of Me. If you kind of like the more rock and roll sound of A Day to Remember, if you like the harder, more metal sound, you have your songs like Violence and Document Speaks for Itself. If you like kind of
are the hard way too.
if you like slow down mellow acoustic A Day to Remember, there's I'm Already Gone. Even still, there's a little bit more of that kind of headbangy, like Dead and Buried. There's pretty much something for anybody on this. Leave the Lights On is another slow little kind of acoustic-y turn-down track if you're into that sort of side of A Day to Remember. So I think they really challenged themselves with their songwriting style in here, and just trying out different styles and different songs and pulling from different influences, and I think it worked out really well. And there's a little bit of all the faces of A Day to Remember sprinkled throughout this record, which is why I think it did so well, because there's something for everybody on it, no matter which side of A Day to Remember is your favorite.
We love this record. If you guys, again, haven't listened to it, check it out. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you have listened to it, tell me what your favorite song is. Tell me why you like it. As always, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Our Instagrams are down below. I haven't posted in a while. Sorry.
Cool. Thanks,
Any
guys.
other words? All right. Sweet. We will see y'all later. Bye!